Hello everyone, welcome to today's video. As you can see on the screen, for today's discussion I have chosen a question from the topic again shares or debentures issued for consideration other than cash. Recently we have done a video on the same topic with a different kind of question which was pretty basic question when it is compared to the current one which we are going to discuss today. So without further delay, let us see how the question is or what is new here or what makes this question different from the other questions that we have discussed so far. So as you can see here, the company's name is Aqua Limited took over the assets of 12,90,000 and liabilities of rupees 40,000 of Bangar Limited, and in consideration they are saying three modes of payment which we have made to the vendor. So the company from which we took the assets or took over the assets or liabilities, we used to address them as vendors, right? We used to call them as vendors. So same, okay, here vendor is Bengal Limited, and we are making the payment in three ways. One is in the form of equity shares, as you can see on the screen, issued 50,000 equity shares of rupees 10 each at 20% premium. Second is issued 9% debentures of face value of rupees 4 lakhs at 10% discount, balanced by check. So how much is the balance which they are going to pay using check is not clearly given in the question. Entire purchase of business resulted in a capital reserve balance from 90,000 to 1,30,000. So they are additionally talking about something which usually won't be given in most of the questions that we see, which usually won't be given. They will not say about capital reserve. Usually we know that when we pass the entries only we'll get to know what is the amount of capital reserve or goodwill whenever we are passing the entries related to purchase of business or takeover of business. We will have either goodwill account or capital reserve account depending on which side total is more. The other day we were discussing similar, when we discussed a similar kind of sum, we have discussed that like debit side, sometimes debit side total when you are passing the journal entry, debit side total of the entry will be sometimes less than the credit side total once we pass the entries for purchase of business. So sometimes if debit side is less, obviously we will write goodwill there with the difference of the amount between debit side total and credit side total. Similarly, if credit side total is less, obviously we will be recording it as capital reserve. So that capital reserve is what they are saying here. That means credit side total of the entry is less than the debit side total. That is the meaning of this. Okay. And they are not saying anything about the purchase consideration also. Purchase consideration is required to pass the entry. So first let us see. Anyways, question is show necessary journal entries in the books of Aqua Company, which is purchaser. That means our company is Aqua Company Limited, for which we are recording the transactions. So first let's see what is missing and how to find it. So for that, first let's see the first entry which is supposed to be recorded in the accounts. So first we will see the entry assets account data to liabilities account. Usually when I pass this entry in all the questions that we have done so far, I always used to leave one space just below the assets account. That is just to record goodwill account if suppose goodwill account is there in that entry. Those who know this case will know very well when goodwill will come. Already we have discussed in the initial part of today's discussion also. So here there is no goodwill. As you can see in the question, they are directly saying about the capital reserve. So capital reserve is coming here. So that is why I didn't leave any space after assets. Next is to vendor. Vendor means obviously we discuss the name of the vendor. So that company account to capital reserve account, because it is clearly given in the question, because of the purchase of the business the capital reserve has increased from 90,000 to 1,30,000 in the balance sheet. So basically when we check that statement we can see that 90,000 to 1,30,000, that means 40,000 increase has been there in the capital reserve. So directly we can put that 40,000 in the capital reserve column. That is the meaning of that statement, or that is the purpose of that statement. Now we can give the values which are available to us. One is 12,90,000. Liabilities we can put 40,000. Now we know that only one missing amount is there, that is Bangar Limited. So how to calculate the Bangar Limited? Obviously the debit side total after recording the capital reserve and goodwill in this particular entry, debit side total of this entry will be equal to the credit side total. So as you can see, debit side total is 12,90,000, whereas credit side total as of now it is only 80,000. That means remaining 12,10,000 will be Bangar Limited's amount. This amount is what is called as purchase consideration. This amount is what is called as purchase consideration. Now the problem is not at over there, because here in the question they are saying 50,000 equity shares of 10 each at 20% premium we are giving to them as a purchase consideration. Issued again 9% debentures of face value of rupees 4 lakhs at 10% discount, that also we are giving to the vendor. Again balance by check, so that in order to find out that balance we need again this 12,10,000. Okay, so we will pass entries case wise. Case wise means it's not actually case based question. We will pass entries, individual entries for each mode of payment, so that the last balance by check part will be clear for you. Okay, so first we will pass the entry for issuing check to Bangar Limited. So what will be the entry for giving check to Bangar Limited? Bangar Limited account debit to, what are they saying about the shares? Of rupees 10 each at 20% premium, and 50,000 equity shares is there. So obviously when you are seeing 50,000 equity shares is clearly given in the question, so we will be writing to equity share capital account to securities premium account, to securities premium account. Now equity share capital account, how much amount should go? 50,000 is the number of shares, face value will go to the share capital. Face value is how much? 10. That means 50,000 into 10, 5 lakhs. Securities premium, we already know the number of shares. Premium we need to find. They are saying 20% premium. 20% of which value? Face value only. Face value is 10. 10's 20%, which will give us 2 rupee. So 2 rupees into 50,000. We'll be getting 1 lakh, and we will be writing 6 lakh here. Okay, that is how we have to write the amount in Bangar Limited. Meaning is what? Out of 12,10,000, we are paying 6 lakh rupees in the form of shares. That is the meaning of this entry. Now we are going to the next entry where they are paying issued 9% debentures of face value of rupees 4 lakhs at 10% discount. So how to pass that entry? Again we'll see. So again Bangar Limited account data, they are saying discount is there. So obviously we can write either discount, or normally we are familiar with discount. Instead of discount, mostly we will use loss on issue of debentures account debtor to the debentures is 9% debentures. So 9% debentures account. Now we need to find out how much is the discount, how much is the debentures amount, and how much we should write in Bangar Limited. So we will be seeing what is the information given in the question. Rupees 4 lakh face value is given. So you know that total of face value will go to debentures account. So no doubt, should not have any doubt in that. Face value will be going to the debentures account. So total face value is 4 lakhs. Now discount, always you know discount is calculated on the face value. So this is total face value. So if you are multiplying the total face value with the percentage of discount, you will get the total discount. So we can write the total discount here. 4 lakh is the face value into 10% discount. That is what is given in the question. If you don't know from where I took the 10%, you can just check the question once again. In the second adjustment B, issue 9% debentures of face value of rupees 4 lakhs at 10% discount. So 10% discount we can calculate. 4 lakhs 10% is 40,000. Okay, then what are we doing? We are going to find the amount which should be written against Bengal Limited. How to do that? Same process that we did in the previous case. We found in the previous case we found the total of the credit side because only debit side Bengal Limited was there. Here debit side discount is there apart from Bengal Limited, credit side only one amount is there. So credit side total anyways we know that is 4 lakhs. So obviously this side total also, debit side total also should be 4 lakhs. So how much should be there? Difference between these two, 3,60,000 should be there in order to make the debit side total as 4 lakhs. So that is how we have to write. So we got Bengal Limited 3,60,000. That means 6 lakhs we have paid using shares, 3,60,000 we have paid using debentures. Now totally we had to pay 12,10,000. In that 6 lakh we have paid using shares, 3,60,000 we have paid using debentures. That means the remaining amount when we come to the last adjustment, balance by check can be found by deducting the amount which we already paid using check and debentures. So as you can see here, 12,10,000 minus 12,10,000 minus 9,60,000. How much we'll get? 2,50,000. This 2,50,000 is the amount that we are going to pay using check. So we are writing again Bengal Limited account debit to bank account. Bengal Limited account debit to bank account. How much we have to write? 2,50,000. Why 2,50,000? This is the difference between 12,10,000, which is the total purchase consideration which we have to pay to Bengal Limited, minus so far we have paid 9,60,000. 9,60,000. In that 6 lakh is from by issue of shares and 3,60,000 by issue of debentures. So as you can see here, we'll be writing 2,50,000 here. Okay. So after recording this, we can cross check once again whether we have recorded entries for all the modes of payment, and when we are adding all these amounts, whether we are getting the total purchase consideration. So first, what did we do in this sum? First, we have passed the normal entry for, or at least we have made the format of the normal entry for recording purchase of business, which was assets account debit to liabilities account to capital reserve and to vendors account. Capital reserve will come at the end only. So vendors account to capital reserve. Then assets account, we have recorded the value that is already known to us. Liabilities also we have recorded the known value. Capital reserve, how did we find? Because the value that has been that has increased in capital reserve in the balance sheet is from 90,000 to 1,30,000. So which gives us 40,000 is the increase. The 40,000 increase is because of the purchase of this business. So that 40,000 we have recorded in capital reserve directly. And to say again, we are not writing goodwill here because in the question itself they have said clearly that in this transaction there is only capital reserve. So we have not left any space for recording goodwill also, as we usually do. We used to actually leave one space for recording goodwill, so that we have not done here. Again, coming back to the entry, so we got 40,000. Now we know that debit side total of the any transaction will be equal to the credit side. So in credit side only one amount is missing, that is Bengal Limited account. Okay, that amount, the amount which comes against that account. So we found it using by finding out the difference between these two sides, which gave us 12,10,000. Now we are proceeding with 12,10,000. How to pay the 12,10,000? Okay, so we are proceeding with 12,10,000 and we are seeing how, in what ways they have paid this 12,10,000. So they are saying 3 modes of payment in the question. Issued 50,000 equity shares of 10 each at 20% premium, first mode of payment. Second was issued 9% debentures of face value of rupees 4 lakhs at 10% discount, second mode of payment. Third mode of payment is balance by check. So balance by check also we need to pay. So 3 modes. For these 3 modes we have passed separate entries. First we have passed the entries for shares. So clearly in the question it is given shares are issued at a premium of 20%. So without any doubt we can pass the entry first, then we can fill the amounts. So Bengal Limited account debit to or debtor to equity share capital to securities premium. That is the entry that we have passed. And as you can see, equity share capital account, how much should come? Face value should come. Number of shares is already given in the question. So face value is 10 rupees. So 50,000 into 10, which will give us 5 lakhs. Similarly, securities premium is there. So securities premium you are seeing as again 50,000 shares were there. 20% premium. 20% premium means obviously 20% is calculated on the face value. So we have got 2 rupees per share as the premium. So 2 rupees into 50,000 shares. So we got 1 lakh. When we are adding it, obviously we will get the debit side amount. Debit side only one account is debited. So that amount, in order to find, we can add the total of or make the total of credit side. So we got 6 lakhs. So 6 lakhs will be written on the debit side. So we got 6 lakhs. The 6 lakhs means that out of this 12 lakh 10,000, we have made a payment of 6 lakhs using equity shares. Now coming down to the next entry, that is next entry, they are saying that they have issued debentures of face value rupees 4 lakhs at a discount of 10%. They are not saying the number of debentures here. So first we will pass the entry. Anyways, discount is there and debentures account is also involved in this transaction. So we are passing the entry first. So Bengal Limited account debit, discount or loss on issue of debentures account debit to 9% debentures account. Okay. So what are we doing? Now we need to write the amount, fill the amounts. So 9% debentures account, already they have given the total face value of the debentures, that is 4 lakhs. We have copied it there. Next is discount or loss on issue of debentures account, which is used to record the discount on the issue of debentures. How we can find it out? We can find it out on the face value itself. So 10% of 4 lakhs will be the total discount. So 10% of 4 lakh gives us 40,000. Now only one amount is missing in that entry, that is the vendors entry. So we are writing it as which one? So here we are writing it as 3,60,000. Why 3,60,000? 4 lakh was there on the credit side, only credit side, one account is there. So obviously that is the total of credit side. So it should be equal with the total of debit side. Debit side only we have got one amount so far, that is 40,000. So obviously remaining amount belongs to the vendor's account. So we found 3,60,000. Now already out of 12 lakh 10,000, we have paid 6 lakh using equity shares and 3,60,000 using debentures. Now the next question is, what is the remaining amount? Balance is paid by check. So for that, what is the remaining amount? How to find the remaining amount? Totally there was 12 lakh 10,000 to pay. Already we have paid 9,60,000. So obviously the remaining amount is 2,50,000, for which we are passing the entry again, vendor account debtor to bank account. So we are writing here how we calculated the amount, 12 lakh 10,000 minus 9,60,000. So we are getting 2,50,000 as the answer. So this is how we are calculating the amounts. This is how we are supposed to do this kind of sums. Why we took this sum for today's discussion is because of two reasons. One is balance by check, that is also important. They have not mentioned anything about the purchase consideration, that is the second reason. So purchase consideration was not given, and if we know the purchase consideration only, we can decide on the payment, balance by check, if you know how to find it out. And some indirect element is also there when they mention about debentures and all. So that was also one of the reasons why we took this question for today's discussion. I hope I made it clear. So when you are practicing sums related to this kind of cases, issues for consideration other than cash, include this kind of sums also in your studies. I wish you all the very best. Thank you.